This, Utah's best coverage of the Utes, Cougars, Jazz, and Mammoth. Here we go. From the guys who have been there for all the biggest moments in Utah sports history. You're listening to DJ and PK on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
DJ PK, and it's time to welcome Barry Tramel back to the show. Barry, good morning.
Well, how you guys doing?
We are doing well. How are you? Sound relaxed and calm. You've had a good summer. The football, well, the storm, you'll be all amped up and wired in no time, won't you?
Yeah, although that's interesting. You called me, I forgot what you said, calm and whatever you just said.
Yeah, you sound,
relaxed.
Relaxed, that's right. Mm-hmm. Well, I ought to be. I'm in British Columbia, so
nice.
I'm up in Victoria, so got another day here, and then headed back to the furnace of Oklahoma, and my granddaughter I think they moved her ball game to after dark the other night. She's a softball player in high school, and it's so hot. It's going to be like 102 at first pitch or something, and so they moved it to 8 p.m. so that it would be 98 at first pitch. So that was, but yeah, we're playing ball, and we got ball games Saturday, and then everybody gets ground up the next 4 or 5 days after that. So I'm fired up for it. I'm fired up.
Softball season is in the fall there?
Yeah, we're so screwed up. I can't even describe it. We play fast pitch in the fall, and then we play slow pitch in the spring. You guys have not lived to enjoy the human drama of athletic competition until you've seen really good fast pitch girls play slow pitch.
Why do they do that?
It's they do it begrudgingly. It's all political for a lot of stupid reasons, but they just has to do with boys baseball. The schools that don't play football in Oklahoma get to play baseball in the spring and the fall. Mm. So they're trying to semi-make it equitable, but it's maddening. It's maddening, no doubt about it.
I think that would completely mess up your swing, but that's a whole nother segment. That's a whole nother segment.
Let me tell you what the fast pitch pitchers don't do in the spring. They don't pitch.
Oh yeah, it's a totally different skill set. Yeah.
Well, yeah, one's made for athletes and the other's made for 42-year-olds that want to drink beer as soon as the game's over.
You're talking to two veterans of slow pitch, hanging on to the glory days softball. Finally had to retire.
Yeah, I played high school baseball, played 1 year out of high school, then played high-level softball, and then just went down the list. And as I got older, I ended up playing co-ed softball, and then called it a career.
Well, there you go. I snapped my right leg, Joe Theismann style, playing church league softball back in 1995. I was literally going to the Pro Football Hall of Fame inductions the next day, and the guy slid into me, and I jumped, and he still broke my leg, sent it sideways, and I'm laying on the medics got out there, the ambulance, and the gal's tending to me and says, "Now you've broken your leg," which I wanted to say, "Yeah, no kidding." But she's trying to tend to me, and my wife's trying to come for me. And I told my wife, I said, "You got to call the office and tell them I can't go to Canton."
Well, we have multiple Big 12 football stories to talk to you about. And let's start with the one that's as fresh as today's headlines. TCU revoking a credential. And I'm hoping I don't know all of this story. I'm hoping there's more layers to this, because otherwise this is just so messed up.
Yeah.
A player gets in trouble. Something happens in the locker room. There's a police report on it. The writer writes about it. and doesn't name the kid, but the kid subsequently names his kid, and then the writer names the kid. I'm trying to figure out why the writer needs to have his credential pulled. First off, I don't know any reason he needs to have it pulled, but certainly under that circumstances, it seems bizarre and outrageous. That's going to happen 100 times across the country, and only one guy's going to get his credential pulled.
Yeah, a couple things. I don't know that TCU athletic director very well. I just met him this year. I think he's been on the job a year or two, if I remember right. But something that's odd is Mark Cohen was a longtime SID the media guy running TCU communications. He just up and got fired a year or so ago. And I've been suspect about what's going on in Fort Worth ever since. I read that whole story. I didn't know about it till yesterday afternoon. And it sounded to me like they're trying to use this to get some sort of concessions from the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, because it said they revoked his credentials until they can meet and come to some kind of understanding. I don't know. That made me think they're just trying to exert a little bit of pressure on the Star-Telegram. I don't think this is like a permanent thing, but I want to get back to the States and find out more, because it's people can shoot themselves in their leg a lot, and that's what TCU's doing here. This is not the old days where just even TCU's enhanced status. The number of people covering TCU football is not all that great. It looks like maybe they're trying to carve out a bigger niche for their own in-house media. And I just think that's a terrible PR. I don't know if they got a communications department or a major at TCU. I don't know what they got going, but this is not a good look, and it's not going to end well. They need to back off this pretty quick. The bigger problem is why they got one teammate knocking the snot out of the other one. That's what I want to know. That's what needs to be investigated. So I don't know. I like old Sonny, and I pull for TCU, but that was odd. I didn't like that a bit.
Yeah, it seems a little bit of a desperation when it doesn't need to be, and bringing attention that's going to be unwarranted and unwanted as you get ready for the season. And the beat writer, he was going to come on, but his editors told him, no, you need to back off. And he was going to come on from Ireland because they play.
They got a ball game.
Yeah. And and I picked TCU as my sleeper team, not really a sleeper, but I picked them because everyone's going with Texas Tech, and who else is going to be in the final? Is it going to be BYU? Is it going to be Utah? Maybe Houston? But I thought from that perspective, well, just watch out for TCU. I've been a Sonny Dykes fan. Obviously, he coached at Cal when Utah was in the Pac-12, so I'd been up there and been in his office and talked to him and all, and he was always so easy to get along with. That coming out of TCU, knowing Sonny was there, it didn't seem like that was the kind of guy that Sonny would get caught up in that stuff.
Yeah, he's one of the more accommodating coaches in America with the media.
Yes, no question.
A lot of guys just don't even have to call him; just show up and walk into his office and ask the secretary if Sonny's around. It's like it's 1957 or something. Yeah. So that is out of character. I don't know what's going on there. TCU is not my sleeper team because they've had a pretty easy schedule, particularly last season. They got a tough one in the Big 12 this year. I mean, they got the Cougars and Tech and Utah, Kansas State, Arizona. They play almost all the good teams. So I think it's unlikely that they would do that. But they do have a fun team. The last 2 years they've won 9 games, both years I think. So they're winning a lot of ball games, and they clearly have a good program. So this is they've built themselves into a nice reputation, a nice name. This is not what you want to see, but again, I'm more interested in going back to the core of this. Literally, what's going on you got civil war in your locker room. That's the question, not how the quarterback from Harvard's going to fare or how bad are you going to beat Bill Belichick. I just want to know. I hadn't heard of this in forever. In the old days, this happened a lot. And at Oklahoma, Switzer's reign ended because of all kinds of guys getting in trouble, including one shooting a teammate.
Remember it, yeah.
That was the craziest story. One Oklahoma Sooner shot another Oklahoma Sooner in the stomach in the football dorm. And that happened before our producer, Alex Annapolis, was born. And Alex just raised his eyebrows like, what happened? And like, yes, Alex, that happened. And America either laughed or shuddered or both. Like, what is
Yes, and well, it was actually, it was over something that we can all get fired up about, and that was a haircut. So, just somebody lost their head and did it. And now you got nobody shot anybody in Fort Worth, but it looks like somebody got the tar beat out of them. So I don't know, but bad look for TCU, no doubt about it.
How about Oklahoma State, man? They're getting a ton of run. Obviously, a complete and total overhaul. It was shocking, the decline, and some people think that they could end up being ranked this year with the quarterback and all the players that they brought over from North Texas. What are you seeing there?
Well, three things. One is they have brought in 87 new players. They have 7 people left anywhere that touches the football program or that were here last year in terms of staff or support personnel. They got to wait. They got one of the conditioning guys. They got the PR guy is back. They got 7 of those people. Everybody else is new, 49, 58, whatever it is, staff members. This is like an expansion team. It's literally like an expansion team. So who knows? But here, 2 things to remember. One is there's every reason to believe they're going to be good on offense. They've been not good on offense for the last 3 years. And Drew Mestemaker apparently is the real deal at quarterback. All kinds of pro people, all kinds of college coaches say he's the real deal. What they did at North Texas with that offense can be replicated, I think, at the power conference level. But you got to worry about the defense because they weren't that great on defense at North Texas. The last 3 years, North Texas has been against the run, has been near the bottom. I mean, they're in the 116, 131, 120-something range. If you can't stop Temple and East Carolina from running the ball, I don't know what you're going to do against the Big 12. So I think OSU's chance at an Indiana-type turnaround, I think, is not very likely because of that. However, they do play an easy schedule. They play a pretty easy schedule. They got a bunch of games. Even if OSU's mediocre, they got a bunch of toss-up games until November. So, I think they're going to be a lot better record-wise and have to be better on the field-wise. But I would tap the brakes on their ceiling. I just think defensively, there's no reason to think they're going to be that good.
How are they as far as PR and energy and getting the boosters all fired up again? Basically, are they good enough that the money's flowing again?
Yeah, I think so. They've spent quite a bit of money. They're spending $3.5 million on Mestemaker and the other guys from North Texas, the playmakers and stuff. They didn't come cheap either because all kinds of people wanted them. And Eric Morris did a great job. He did a wonderful job getting people to buy in and say, hey, come with me from Denton. We'll stick together. We'll do great things. So I think they got some pretty high-end talent at below market value just because of the familiarity aspect of it. And in Stillwater and around the state, people are very excited, but a lot of them are still wait and see. I found it fascinating. They open at Tulsa, which is 60 miles east of Stillwater, and that's an old rivalry that died for a couple decades, 3 decades. It's been back. They've just started during the year 3 of an 8-game series. And Tulsa has a beautiful stadium, but only seats 30,000. And it's a Tulsa home game, but OSU's got tens of thousands of alums in Tulsa, plus Stillwater's 60 miles away. And 2 or 3 weeks ago, there still was tickets remaining. So I think it's a sellout now. But that struck me as odd that the excitement level was not higher than it was. I think there's still a bit of a wait and see. You go winless in the Big 12 2 straight years, and people get shell-shocked. One time you think, oh, what's going on? 2 times you think, maybe we just are never going to be good at football again. So, we'll find out week 2. Oregon comes to town, and last year the Cowboys played them tough and got beat 69-3. So, cut that in half and get beat 35-3. It's like
progress.
A parade.
No, you'd have to score 6. So 2 field goals.
69-6.
You got to double. No, you got to double. You cut it in half defensively, but double your offensive production.
That's exactly right. 35-6, or even score a touchdown and miss the extra point would be fun. So, but we'll see. I don't know, but it's been a dark time in Stillwater, and there's light. The sun is shining through.
That's the second week of the season, and I talked to you down at the Star in Frisco, Texas for Big 12 Media Days, and I believe you're going to be in Ann Arbor, Michigan for that day because Oklahoma goes to Michigan, right? That game is on the road, if I remember correctly.
You guys don't have any interest in that game, I don't think, do you?
Huge, obviously, since half the staff is there. BYU or Utah's bitter. I don't know if you saw that they were paying Kyle Whittingham $13.5 million to go away, in addition to his $8 million that he gets at Michigan, and so that just that alone, and let's just say when he comes back to Utah and I go golfing with him, he's paying with all that money, and but they're suing his brother Freddie. I
saw that.
Yeah, so there's still so much connection there, and Kyle obviously was a legend there. And Michigan has a real difficult schedule this year, and we'll find out about them. I forget who they play in the first game, but it's a cream puff. The second game is huge. Tell us about the Sooners. The one thing that this doesn't relate to this team, but I don't know if you know, they got 2 commitments out of Utah kids to come play for the Sooners next season. So that was interesting. But what are you expecting out of them?
Yeah, well, I think Oklahoma's really good. I think they're going to be better this year than they were last year. Schedule's really tough, so they may not win 10 games again. But they had Michigan last year, but it was in Norman. This year they go to Michigan. They still got a loaded SEC schedule, more loaded than most. Just dumb luck. That's not conspiracy, I don't think. Just dumb luck. But so they could be really good and reel off a 9-3. But man, they're going to be good on defense, and they got their quarterback returning. And they played a bunch of freshman offensive linemen who are going to grow up. And they fortified the wide receiver position in the portal, which I've always said that's the best place to go get the quarterback and receivers. You got to have a quarterback, so go get one no matter what. But offensive linemen in the portal, that's dicey because those guys got to play together and work together. Wide receivers, they're just golfers out there playing. They're solo artists. They don't need to work with anybody. Just go out there and get it done. So if you got to hit the portal, that's the best place to go So I think they're going to be really good, and the defense is loaded. A lot of starters back. They're really too deep last year. Their depth is not quite as bad, but as good. But I think that'll be a toss-up game at Michigan. If Michigan is as good as most people think they are, and they might be. Kyle's got him a veteran quarterback in Underwood, who's a ballyhooed, but he sure didn't look good as a freshman, and most true freshmen don't. So, we'll see how Bryce Underwood does in year 2. But I guess it's good for the Utes that Underwood was there. Else Devin Dampier.
Probably, yeah. Maybe so.
So
I
don't know.
Yeah. We'll see. They got the Carr kid, the younger brother of the Notre Dame quarterback, who had a good spring game for what that's worth. So that'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see as what's going on with Jason Beck and his offense. And he's a BYU guy, and Kalani has some friction there with the athletic administration. I'm sure you heard about that. And if he has another big season, does he leave? And would a guy like Jason Beck want the BYU job? So all sorts of connections that are going to run throughout, and speculation and whatnot. And that's what we, in talk radio, feast on. That's for sure.
Yeah, we don't really seem to mind this. Not heartbroken.
No, I don't. What's going on with Kalani? Just when America discovers that he's like the best coach you can have to get along with and produce and all the things, and then all of a sudden he's volatile. 2 straight years, you got to worry about if you're going to keep your coach. With a perfect fit, it doesn't fit as perfect as we thought. So what's going on there? I don't understand.
Money. There it is.
Well,
resources for the program. And the basketball is getting a lot, and how much are they getting? And football, and all these staffs are growing, and everybody's adding people, and everybody needs money to add people, and you need money to add players, you need money to retain players. And, the whole thing about going to Penn State, and they were very open about this. Kalani was really open about it at a press conference. It was tempting. It was an awesome offer, and he got to look under the hood and see what a power program in the Big Ten has for resources. And schools here, Utah played Penn State and Ohio State in Rose Bowl and lost them both. Now, they could beat USC and Oregon. They couldn't beat Penn State and Ohio State. And I think when you get that kind of job offer and you really find out what other people have, then you're like, well, I'd like to stay here because all the roots and the family and, you grew up here and you played at the school the whole bit. But, man, we got to have those resources. So I think that's where the rubber starts to meet the road.
So it's the same. So it's the same issue as last December. They really hadn't come to an agreement on that at Provo.
Well, they feel like Kalani and his people feel like there were some promises made, and I think you got some personalities in there. I think that there was a meeting with Jay Hill, and Jay Hill, who's now the DC at the Michigan, did great work here with Weber State and defensive coordinator at BYU, that they were quick. There was somebody or some people in the athletic department who were quick to say, go ahead, Kalani, here, I'll open a door for you because we'll hire Jay Hill. And then you start to get that involved there, and you get personalities involved.
Feelings.
And there's some
respect.
There's some tension there. And you can go so far as the football coach was told that they would get rid of the athletic director, and that got out and made a message board to the point where the communications guy, not the sports information folks, but the university communication guys, put a thing out on the message board that says, no, Brian is staying. They addressed it on the message board, which, we've been around a long time, and message boards haven't. And we usually use message boards as just for rumors and fun and frustration, and it's a bunch of anonymous people. We've all been blasted on there at times. But several years ago, when my father had a heart attack living in Phoenix, and so I went to be with him bedside, and they put on the message board that when Croton got fired and Mendenhall was hired, I wasn't there that whole week. and they put on the message board is because I had been suspended. Just make up crap. And I'm sitting bedside as my father is fighting for his life. He ended up living another 10 years. And I'm getting multiple phone calls from Tom Homo checking in to see, because he heard where's PK, because I was working for the Tribune at the time and doing sports radio. I did both for 5 years before I quit the paper and came over and just did the radio. And Tom Homo, the athletic director, who was calling me to just check on my dad. So message boards can be cesspools, and they could be for fun. And the communications guy went on the message board and said, no, Brian Santiago's not being fired. So it was a crazy couple of weeks. And now Kalani has said, well, the season starts. I'm not going to be worried about that anymore. So that's sort of where we are.
Well, that's too bad. People look upon BYU, at least I do, maybe I hope a lot of others, is sort of an oasis, the place that's sort of the way things ought to be in terms of commitment to a place and each other and all those things. But like I said, the day I was glancing got on the laptop and saw Penn State's about to hire Kalani Sitake. I thought, well, the world has ended. If that happens, we can't fix it. And then we did avoid it, and lo and behold, they stole Matt Campbell instead. So two of my favorite coaches. I don't know. I need to think about who was third on Penn State's list. I got to think of who's among my top 5 coaches, but those two are. So. Well, I hope the Cougars get it figured out, and I hope they make the playoff.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Because I think they got a shot.
Barry, we will let you go back to the cool, mild temperatures of Victoria, British Columbia, and then you can go bake in Oklahoma later, and we'll talk to you again.
Well, pray for me. We're taking a seaplane tour today.
Oh, nice.
And it doesn't make any sense technologically in my mind. A plane taking off and landing on water seems like sinkage would happen immediately, but
Nope.
we're going to put it to the test.
Have a good time. We'll hear all about it next time we give you a call.
All right, see you guys.
All right, thank you, Barry. Barry Tramel in the hotel room talking quietly because people are sleeping. He came on. It's still early there. It's vacation. Came on at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, I remember when there was another guy who was whispering in a hotel room, and Yak and I were wondering, what's going on? El Capitan, he did a show from a hotel room, and he was whispering. We couldn't hear him. Hatch got the thing turned up. I told him, if you're going to do a show from a hotel room, you ask for an end room.
Quiet out of there!
He was getting that.
Hey!
I thought we were broadcasting golf.
You're a lot nicer than I would have been. I would have
He's got a 14-foot downhill putt. It's going to break a little left to right.
The Jazz just got the number 2 pick in the draft. Man, he was awful low-key on that.
The Jazz have the number 2 pick in the draft, and Austin Ainge will consider that after he makes this 20-foot downhill putt that breaks about 5 feet left to right.
And he still hasn't invited me to Hidden Valley. Austin, I'm waiting for the invitation, buddy. I know you live right there.
Look at you just getting free golf off everybody.
I'll gladly pay my share.
Oh, well, Kyle's paying.
Well, he should.
Austin doesn't have to pay though.
Well, he has
It's the 8-figure income to get you, right?
Kyle's only paid once, and that was out of state. The other times he gets the free golf in state.
All right, DJ PK, when we come back, everything you missed in this show, stay with us.
For all of you, less motivated listeners, it's time for your 9 o'clock. Where the heck have you been headlines?
Where you at?
With DJ and PK on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Slacker Radio Headlines brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your local trusted financial fiduciary. Call 1-855-TRAJAN1 or visit their website at TrajanWealth.com. Tons of news, PK, from the world of college football. The number 1 recruit reaffirms his commitment to Texas Tech, and shuts down recruiting. Don't call me, I'm going to Tech. And they also land a fifth-year quarterback, so the quarterback room gets deeper. Tommy Castellanos commits to Texas Tech. He's on his third school, his fifth year, and that gives him a little more depth there in case Hammond either can't come back or comes back and gets hurt.
Yeah, for sure.
They have a transfer from Tulsa, too, so they got multiple experienced quarterbacks there now.
I actually think he's on his fourth school.
Oh, is he?
Florida State, Boston College, UCF.
Bad math by me. Don't do math on the air. He's been at 3, and you're right. This will be 4 in 5 years.
Yeah. I don't remember in Boston College. I remember in Florida State and the other one, UCF. But we'll see if he gets out on the field. But you need to have a $5 million guy in reserve.
The Big 12 goes ahead and bans professionals from returning. So now the key is where is everyone going to draw the line on professionals? That's a line that's moved over time. We're old enough to remember a time when if you hired an agent, you were a pro and you were done. Then you could hire an agent and you could declare for the draft. And you could come back from the draft. There's a drop dead date and you could, just kind of explore. We've had that for
and I didn't
20,
think that was
25
good enough.
years.
I always thought they should have had more.
Let them get drafted. Because baseball, they let them get drafted, and then it's whether you sign or not. But in basketball and football...
baseball, you don't declare.
Right.
There's nothing...
No.
If somebody drafts you, they draft you.
Yep. There's none of this process, and it doesn't matter. Now, that may change here in 27. We'll see what happens to the labor agreement. But historically, you get drafted out of high school. You can get drafted any year out of JC. But if you go to a 4-year school, then you can't get drafted till you're a junior. And if you're an international player, you never get drafted. So their rules were all over the map.
Nolan Arenado would have looked good in maroon and gold for the Sun Devils, except that first-round draft choice where he got huge money. And who blames him? He's been a really good big league player.
I can remember San Diego State signing when I was in college at UCSB, signing a bunch of big-time prospects. And I asked the baseball coach, what is going on? This doesn't make sense. He goes, yeah, it does. They're all going to sign. Everybody knows it. Nobody else is pursuing them. Yeah. They're doing it because at that point, I don't know if it was a new coach, he needed pub or whatever, and they were making a splash with it. He says, they're not counting on those guys. This is just for PR.
And the kids want to sign because it gives them leverage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you don't give me another X number of dollars, another 20 grand or whatever, I'll go there.
Yeah. And that usually is August, basically the start of school where the kids have to decide. And
so we need unity in the community here. Is it okay to go to rookie camps? Is it okay to go to a summer league? Because they say the signing with teams, you have to sign with a team, but the kind of contract you sign is different. And that, boy, the NBA Summer League rosters have gotten massive. And I haven't talked to Austin Ainge or anybody about this, and probably should, but it just feels like they're doing favors for agents and getting guys names out there so they can get better offers from Europe or Australia or wherever they're going to go play in whatever foreign league.
Yeah, it's not real. It's not training. You're not preparing for a season.
No, what's real is all of us looking at the lineup and saying, do I need to watch the Summer League game tonight? Which of the draft picks are playing?
Right. Yeah, I couldn't.
Or any of the second-year guys they play.
Couldn't name you 10 guys, 15 guys on that team, and they don't need to be named. So I'm fine with Summer League, but once training camp starts, and that's July for the NFL, that's usually around October 1st
so 20,
for the NBA.
18 or 20 players competing for the 15 or 17 spots with the two-ways.
Right.
Or depending on the team, whatever. I don't even know what the NFL rules are and how many guys you can bring in now.
Now, if you sign a two-way and go to Summer League, then no.
Yeah, all those things need to be detailed and spelled out.
But I think they're easily spelled out.
It's easily done. Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it's easily done. I mean, it's just literally being done day by day here this week, but pretty quickly they can blow through this.
And they need to get it done. So a kid goes, he knows, hey, I'm going to go to the Summer League. I'm going to test my skills against these guys, most of whom won't sniff the NBA. But KY, I'm coming back. And in August, when everybody gets back together, I'll be there. And then away you go. And so you don't have this. I mean, this Castellanos thing, the season starts and you're picking guys up off of the waiver wire now.
That used to be the joke. We don't have a waiver wire in college. Now we do.
Yeah.
He's a waiver wire guy.
Right. He's basically Aaron Donald. Oh, the season starts? Okay, I'm in. Missed all at camp.
Sweet.
But I don't know for Sweet, how does he get out on the field?
Aaron Donald will get out on the field. Castellano.
Well, I would think Hammond's their guy, but maybe this is just insurance.
Right. And let's see if he's. I mean, originally he was. He's on target to be able to play in Game 3. Okay, so what about Game 1 and 2?
He's going to go.
Then you're in insurance territory, and you just hope you don't need him anyway. But you got him if you do.
Well, I hope they don't need him. I don't want anybody to be injured. But this is what he chose, and Tech's giving him money, and away we go. But I don't really have a problem with him being eligible.
The other college news, we didn't talk about this. Cal, they put out social media, the new head coach. They got a first-year coach. They finally moved on from Justin Wilcox there, and they've been averaging less than 35,000 fans per home, and now they're going to take the tarps off. They've got UCLA coming in September 5th. They did have sellouts with Miami and Stanford that drew sellouts of 52,000. If you take the tarps off, they can have more than 60,000 in that place.
They'll be tarpless?
Exactly.
Wow.
See what you did there.
What did I do?
Just one letter. It's so close.
Tarpless?
Tarpless.
Oh, I see where your mind is going.
Straight to the gutter. 60,000 in the remodeled stadium has been a rare occurrence, but apparently they're going to pack them in for UCLA. Interest is
Been
up.
in that stadium many times. Mm-hmm. Once did a Sunday night show from that stadium on Saturday.
Yeah. You're looking live on tape from Memorial Stadium in Berkeley.
Well, I did say I'm not doing the show with that Ute hat.
Was that where that
I take the Ute hat off. I'm not doing it. Well, you wear Sun Devil. Yeah, we're not. I don't cover the Sun Devils, and I don't wear it on game day either. I'll show up this year at LaVelle Edwards Stadium, decked out in maroon and gold. So it's my Halloween costume, and they play on October 31st.
Okay, you do that. You do that.
I once wore, and this is where I knew the rivalry. Mm-hmm. You have an idea, but until you're here, you don't really know. And it was a women's basketball game, and at the Marriott Center at BYU, Utah, and I wore red, not thinking. And administrator got my face. Completely innocent. Yep. I wasn't even thinking of it.
Doesn't matter, the red and the blue. Very important to people who grew up here or get paid here.
But women's basketball, what are you doing? Last year, get this, this very last year, I went to a Utah practice, and a now departed coach, which doesn't name him because there's several, who was at Michigan now, comes up to me and said, "Why are you wearing blue?" Mm-hmm.
I've gotten that. I've been in a blue dress shirt and a sports coat and tie, and then why do you have that on? And I think, wow. Because I wore the white one yesterday and the eggshell the day before, and here I am in the rotation. I don't know
as I tell my wife, I just wear the same stuff, whatever's on top.
Of the laundry basket.
I got shirts that I haven't worn in years because they just get buried.
Mm-hmm. A lot of guys right now just nodding their head going, yeah.
Whatever's on top is what I put on.
You ever pull one out of the, well, this is kind of cool. I hadn't seen this in a while. I hadn't thought of this. I've done that.
Can I tell this one story? It's funny, but it involves a brassiere. And this was just a few weeks ago.
Alex, what do you think? You're the one on the dump button. Be ready to go.
So I go in the closet. And my wife's sleeping in the bed. She just doesn't have to get up, and I don't want her to get up, right? Yeah. So the dog, and I don't want to disturb the dog and the wife. So I go in the closet, and is where I get dressed, right? And so I close the door, and I take a belt loop, and I go around. It's a small closet. Well, there's one of those things is hanging on the side. Unbeknownst to me, I take the belt buckle.
And you hook it?
Yes. True story. And
How far did you make it? To the garage?
No.
Okay.
Not out to the hallway.
To the car.
And something's flapping
parking
over
lot.
there. And
To our parking garage.
What is this?
To the security door with the video camera, because there's tape. Let's go get it, Alex.
What is this? And I look, and I must have just hooked it. I went too far around.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
And I laughed to myself. I didn't want to wake anybody up. I certainly don't want to wake up the dog. And so I told her later. And I told my friends that, and they just roared when I said that.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
You walking in the hallway, no idea. I mean, if you hook it on the side, you have an idea, right? But if it's behind you, who knows?
But I could, as I'm walking, I can feel
it,
something flapping.
That's pretty funny. Do anything to see you come walking in the hallway.
That's
to the
innocent
elevators
enough to tell that story, isn't
yeah,
it?
that was fine. That was just,
Yeah.
You've told 100 stories. All right, DJ and PK, when we come back, your feedback next. Stay with us.
And it's all over almost here.
Don't go nowhere.
And now, enough of us. It's time to hear from you. From all your texts, tweets, and posts. This is the best feedback of the day.
Ooh, I was there. It's the best game of my life.
With DJ and PK on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
One last call for alcohol.
Join Scotty Jr., the coach, Friday from 10 to 2 at Tim Dolly Mazda in Sandy, 10785 South Auto Mall Drive. Time for your feedback. The question of the morning has been really popular. What do you want Michigan to do? Really, how much you're rooting for them, how much you're rooting against them. And it is just overwhelming. People want Michigan to win. They want them to have a good season. Most people want them in the playoff, and most people want them to play Utah or BYU, which would be a sensational story. We could sign up for that in a heartbeat.
I want a statue for Whittingham in Ann Arbor.
What percentage chance is there that one team out of Utah, BYU, and Michigan make the playoff? 50-50 or better?
Tell me what happens with Notre Dame, and tell me, do we get two teams in the Big 12? Because if we get two teams in the Big 12, then the percentage for me goes up higher. I think, and I'm not in tune to the level that I am with the Big 12 as with the Big 10. It seems like this year their schedule is just overwhelming.
It's really hard.
So I don't know. That's why I said if Michigan goes 9-3, to me, that's a good first year, and build from there. That's a great place to build from. I need to know if the Big 12 can finally get, although it's only been 3 years really, if they can get, or 2 years. This will be the third.
This will be the third.
If they can get a second bid in, which I hope they can, then in my mind that drives it up to probably in the 40 percentile.
Your story in the last segment about getting dressed in the closet in the dark, trying not to wake everybody up because you're doing morning radio and everybody else gets to sleep, and you accidentally take the belt, and your wife had a bra hanging. Somehow you hooked it when you reached out in the dark, and then it was strapped to you as you started to walk through your house.
True story.
Unfortunately, you didn't get to your car to the station, so we all have a good laugh.
Did.
Alex, what do you think? Ruling, fortunately or unfortunately?
No.
Unfortunately.
The thing was flapping. There was no way.
I know where you're going to do it. Well, Chewbacca, who listens and always has a meme or a GIF ready, immediately went to Seinfeld, a classic episode. It's a man's ear. It's a bro. It's a man's ear. It's a bro.
No, this was a legitimate female undergarment.
Kramer, man, that guy. All right, it's quite the video. You'll have to see it. We're out of time. Scotty G and Tim Lacombe are up next right here on The Zone.
All right, the show is over.
This isn't over. This isn't over by a long shot.
It's over when I say it's over.
Okay, the show's over.
So what, that means the show's over?
Okay, take care.
See you soon. So long.